There was an interesting conclusion made by a think tank here in the United States, as reported by Zero Hedge. I'll put a link in the description below the article, but it's something that I've thought about myself, and I haven't really talked about it openly. But they're looking at the Russian-Ukrainian war, and they're seeing what's going on with drones, and effectively we've entered into a new era, a new type of warfare, where it's no longer you have a technologically advanced expeditionary force like we've seen here in the United States, or maybe say from Britain or France. Instead, this type of warfare requires troop strength and a lot of boots on the ground. Well, Europe, well, they stopped having kids decades ago, so they don't really have enough young people to fight a potential war. So the conclusion that this think tank came up with is to recruit the Muslim migrants to be soldiers for the European armies. So just think of it, let that sink in for a second. Any of you are history buffs that know anything about the collapse of the Western Roman Empire? One of the things that caused the demise of the Western Roman Empire is that they were recruiting foreigners to be Roman soldiers because they didn't have enough Romans that wanted to be soldiers. So they recruited foreigners that were loyal to their commander, you know, that happened to be maybe Germanic, also in origin. A lot of these were Germans. But they were not loyal to the Roman state. And that had enormous consequences. So imagine doing the same thing today. You got groups of people that have already been well documented not to be loyal to the European countries that they currently live. A lot of them don't even have jobs either. What makes you think they're going to be good soldiers? What makes you think they're going to want to defend countries that they feel are not like their own? They don't feel like it's their own country. What incentive are these countries, these European countries, are going to give to these migrants to want to fight? I mean, they're already paying them not to do anything. I mean, what are they going to pay them even more? You know, this doesn't like clock in. It doesn't make any sense, and it's potentially very dangerous. You have a large standing army. Because they look at the situation in Ukraine and Russia and say, well, we need to make drones, we need to have a large standing army of Muslims and, you know, people from the Middle East. Can you imagine this basically a foreign force that they think that they control, but as it turns out, they're not loyal to these people. A large standing foreign army inside Europe that has some training, that has the means to cause all kinds of problems. So, of course, this is a bad idea. The policymakers are looking at this thinking that this is a solution, but this is a really, really, really bad idea for the people in Europe.